as we were all focused on stupid fake Russiagate, right? We, the American media, and on stupid tweets, right? Those were real, but also led to so much distraction here in, the country and the media and so on. Trump was out there saying things like Germany needs to spend more of its money on its own domestic military buildup. Germany needs to pay its fair share with respect to the NATO. Germany is too dependent on Russia for its energy supplies. There was a tweet in 2018. This is Trump saying, Germany, as far as I'm concerned, is captive to Russia because it's getting so much of its energy from Russia. And Angela Merkel, who everybody loved, they called her the last serious leader in the West. Schellenberger was writing about this. She came out and said, our country can make our own policies and make our own decisions. That was the adult in the room. Where's she now? Why doesn't she come out and try to take responsibility and speak to the position she's left her country and Europe in?
Oh, where to begin? That was fantastic there. First of all, the conversation you had with Schellenberg was amazing. I have to go back and re-listen to it.
I know, me too.
There's a lot of great stuff in there. One thing to point out about Merkelism is that, it's a very elite-centric movement. And the elites in Berlin will defend what she did to the end. I've been a part of a lot of conversations between President Trump and Chancellor Merkel. And you can look at even the picture book from President Trump, where he describes Chancellor Merkel. There's incredible respect. First of all, I've been in the room where he says, look, Chancellor, I don't blame you for wanting to get the best deal for Germany. And by the way, you've outsmarted a lot of presidents before me. You got 50,000 American troops if you count the rotational troops, and you yet don't have a serious military. You're not paying your fair share, but you have a budget surplus. We know all of these arguments. But for President Trump to kind of hit Chancellor Merkel hard on it, her only response is, well, Donald, I have the Bundestag and I have to deal with multiple parties. To which President Trump would say, you think dealing with Congress is easy? We have the same issues here. But what's transformed, and I don't think Americans quite understand, is that the Merkel leadership of the Christian Democrats of the CDU, her coalition government was with the socialists, who included as her finance chair Olaf Scholz, Minister of Finance Olaf Scholz, who is now the chancellor.
Yeah.
So the socialists really dumped the CDU and said, you're not helping here. The 180 turnaround from Olaf Scholz is a monumental movement in Germany to reject Merkelism, to reject the CDU at a time when the Germans just don't do that. They are very judicious and slow. They don't make big decisions, but faced with this bloody war, this admittance to pay the 2% immediately and to stop the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, both absolute policies of Merkel, to change on a dime like that is an admittance that Merkel literally brought them to the place where Germany and Europe are less secure, and people couldn't no longer face that reality. They had to make a change in policy. It's a huge moment.
It's huge. But, back on the subject of Poland, before we leave that, though, so Poland is in NATO. So if Poland sends jets to create, just to help or to create a no-fly zone, and then finds itself embattled in a war with Russia, right? If Russia starts bombing Poland or doing something militarily to Poland, then we do have to get involved. I mean, this is fraught. If Poland, I know you say they're stepping it up, but we have to watch that very carefully, do we not? As we, every day we recommit our obligation to go in and step in if Putin and a NATO country get into it.
Yeah, look, I have a lot of thoughts here. First of all, I think that you're right. Although Poland is acting as a member of Europe, maybe not even the EU, but just as a member of Europe, and they're defending European land and sovereignty, they are also have a dual hat as a NATO member, and the slippery slope of them getting entangled in something with the Russians would trigger Article 5. Now, I'm an ambassador and a diplomat and try not to talk about the military aspect, because I actually believe that our diplomats should be really tough and utilizing all the tools, and that we should be there until there's absolutely no more hope left. And I'm all for tough diplomacy. That's what's been so frustrating with the Biden administration, is that we haven't utilized all the tools that we should have had been using from the beginning. We waited for a bloody war, despite the fact that the intelligence clearly showed Joe Biden that a bloody war was coming on Wednesday. And he kept saying a bloody war is coming on Wednesday, but failed to really act in a diplomatic way. I think Poland is frustrated. I think the Eastern Europeans are frustrated. I just got back from the Balkans, and I can tell you there's a lot of fear in the Balkans as to what this means. This is a slippery slope. This war-torn area is desperate for leadership, diplomatic leadership. They want to avoid war at all costs, and I think Putin sees that and is taking advantage of that.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.